Mic on.
Hey. Oh, good morning. ¿Qué pedo? ¿Qué onda? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué tal? How are you guys doing this morning? We're back. We're back. And we're not doing so hot, but it's all right. We kind of expected this, so I'm gonna get right into it. If you guys go back to Monday's stream, we did kind of call out we were gonna have a pullback this week. We predicted either Tuesday or Wednesday. It did happen on Wednesday. As you can see, yesterday we just kind of shot down in the pre-market and after hours. After the announcement of the share dilution and all that stuff, that you guys know what's going on. So we kind of just traded sideways, a little flat here, just under $11 yesterday. In the rest of the after hours, really just consolidated really tightly. A little bit of volatility going on this morning in the pre-market. Kind of rose up here to about 11.19 and then back down. Currently where we sit now to open the day, we are red once more. However, we are still up a little bit from yesterday. Surprisingly, less than 1/10%. So we're up like 1 penny from where we closed at yesterday. I'm assuming this. Yeah. So yeah, it ain't too bad. We're not concerned with it. We are reaching oversold according to the RSI, so we'll get a little bit of reversal here. So we're gonna take a look at the let's take a look at the 180 4-hour here. The reason we thought that we were going to have a pullback, one is we set a trend line maybe 2 weeks ago or so back here when we got this bounce after two bounces here. Let me see if you guys can even see that here. I'll just pull it full screen here. So just looking at our trend line to where we set, we respected this quite a few times. This bottom one here, we made this top one. We can get rid of that shit. So just take that out of the way. You know, and if we're gonna respect this trend line, we're gonna have bounces off of it, and we're gonna pull back down to it. So according to the RSI, we were overbought as well. So it doesn't surprise us that we're going to see a pullback. I think we can continually pull back today. We have a strong level of support here at this 1050 range. And again, we're going to have another battle. So it's going to be kind of depend on where we end up today as to what the battle may be tomorrow. And what I want to do here is pull up Fintel because we've got some, you know, not the greatest news. So now there's 650,000 short shares available. I think we're up to 1 million. Short borrow rate fee at 18.61. This was updated 16 hours ago, so I am sure that it will probably change once more. We'll see if it goes down. Quite a bit down from where we were. Shit, where were we at? We were like another 8%. We're still about 8% down on the short borrow rate fee. And then, you know, we get up to about 1 million short shares. So I don't know how it's possible. It's something that's kind of baffling to me is how, you know, they were able to cover 1 million shares and still drop the price. I don't really get it, especially based off of the news that we had. That should have been positive news for us in the market, but it is what it is. So, cheers, everybody. Biden did speak yesterday. That typically does have effect on the market. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna check out the SPY, see what kind of happened there. I do want to start this video out and give an apology to the God Pill Marcus Rayman. Hey, you know, we kind of had emails exchanged last night, and I do apologize. Kind of wanted to just come on stream. I did put a comment out there on one of Trey's videos, and you know, those you could take it as negative. Surely, if I said that and then I come back to your stream and I tell you that I'm in rocking with you, but you know, I do apologize. So I just kind of want to throw that out there. I do watch the God Pill. I do watch Trey's Trades. I do watch Andrew Money. I do watch Ron's Capital. I do watch Jeffrey Forbes. I do watch Tyler Wilson trading occasionally when it pops up. I haven't seen him too much lately. I don't really watch Money that much anymore either. I do watch him occasionally. I watch a lot of YouTubers for the information, right? So I don't really, I'm not involved in all the YouTube beef that goes on and what's said, but I definitely think that YouTubers probably should not make videos trashing other YouTubers and saying things. Anyhow, that's all I'm going to say. And we're just going to move on. All right, so yeah, quite a bit down. We did hit a high of 420 to start the day this morning, so that's an all-time high here for the SPY. As you guys can see, we'll just take up a 3-year, 3-week, and you can see here, yeah, 420.72 all-time high. So market's doing pretty damn good after Biden spoke. I don't know what he said. Not really sure. I don't give him the airtime when he talks. I really honestly don't care. I don't really care what he has to say. Most of what he says is pretty idiotic, and it's incoherent at best. However, you could say the same thing about Trump. You know, most of what he said was pretty idiotic. However, he did have a very impactful, a positive impact on the market and the economy, and you cannot knock the guy for that. So you may not like what he had to say, but he definitely wasn't wrong all the time. Um, but I don't get into politics here. I don't really care about politics that much. You know, when they directly affect me, yeah, I do vote and I do. Anyhow, we're just gonna stay out of that. It is connected to the markets in some way, so I just thought I would bring it up because he did speak. So he is the president, and if he says something and it negatively impacts the market, we're gonna cover it. So I don't know what he said. See if there's any news on it. I don't think they're even gonna bring anything up. Yeah. So we are still in Q1 earnings report territory here. This is the season for that. We're just gonna take a quick peek. All right, so we're kind of consolidating down here. Still pretty damn good, 420. So hey, good number there, right? We're currently sitting at 1093 on AMC here. We did get a bounce here off this bottom VWAP. God damn, we haven't seen the bottom VWAP in quite some time here. Um, yeah, I mean, not looking too good there. I don't really understand. Again, back to my point, I don't understand how we went from, you know, that big positive news of the share dilution of 550 million off the table, you know, down as much as we have. If anything, I thought that it would kind of delay the pullback, but regardless, we did see that there was a pullback coming. We talked about it Monday stream, and sure enough, we saw the pullback. And let's just go ahead here. We're going to put up a Fibonacci retracement and just kind of see. We're just going to see. I don't know if this is going to be a good point to put it. We'll just take it from here. This is, I don't know. It looks pretty good to me. So we're going to take this. We'll leave it there. And yeah, not too bad. So as you guys can see, we're still just above that 50% on the Fibonacci retracement. And now we're just kind of consolidating out. We could potentially drop a little bit farther down and still be okay and look for that bounce a little bit closer to the 50, or look for that bounce right here at 10 3/4, which potentially is what we may see today. Right now it looks as though we're consolidating. You see most of the damage has been dealt, and we're kind of just now consolidating back. So we'll see if we get that reversal and start testing back upwards here. It could take you know, some time. We could probably see us consolidate through the rest of today. And tomorrow it get pushed down a little bit farther, and maybe we get that bounce off 1074 or even 1050, even though the Fibonacci is down here at 1062. However, we know that the 10 1/4, 10 1/2, 10 3/4 is a very strong level of support and resistance. It has been in the past. Once we get into that $10 range, it's pretty much been very damn close to those quarter levels. And we set a bunch of these price levels, but I may start taking some. Hell, there's one right there at 1074. They don't really mean too much at this point. I mean, in the future, you can see some stuff. So I'm going to potentially take some of these out. I mean, you can see we're kind of holding up here. I'll just get rid of that one. I'll keep the 1159. Seems like a pretty solid level here. And this one up here at 1229, I'm going to keep that because that's going back. Once we get that break above 1229, I think we're home free. We're going to start pushing up towards $13 and $14. However, for the rest of the day, I think we're just going to consolidate. I think we'll consolidate here, maybe even drop down tomorrow and try to get that reversal. So we are not reversed yet. We're in that period here of consolidation. So if you guys watched the stream in the past when we have done some day trades and some scalp trades, and what we talk about when you're looking for those signs of reversal is, let's just say that this is the area here. You're interested in the position. You see it running up. You're waiting for the pullback, right? You get the pullback. You got to wait for consolidation and then signs of reversal. So this is what we saw. We saw it bounce here. We think it's going back up, right? But no, it's not done. It pulled back and bounced once more, consolidated, and then you see the reversal. For me, the reversal is above this this candle right here. I usually just take, these are some long ones, but I'll take this, right? And even then, I would say watch for it right here at this peak, at this 1010 range. Once it really breaks above that, that's when you really got your sign of reversal. So, but for this case, if you're watching here, to see that sign of reversal is pretty much over this area. Once you break this, you know you're going to test this level here, right? And once you break that level, then you can get up and test these levels. So pretty much right in this area is when I would honestly have bought for a scalp to day trade it, and then kind of ride it up and see what happens here. Especially, you know, you've got there um, the potential for it to pull back. So I kind of watched that, and then realistically, if you're being very very safe, because the percentage for profit here is very low. If you bought in right here, say you got in right here, and you're just gonna ride it up to about right there. I mean, it's actually not too bad, right? So we're looking for 5%. Anything above 2.5% is pretty good for a day trade. And we look for 5%. That's kind of where we shoot our shot at, is 5%. We want that 5 on a day, and we want a little bit more on a swing. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at here. So we see it here. It's still kind of consolidating out. I think we maybe get a little bit of bounce, maybe pull back down a little bit, and then we go back and start testing this out. But it's going to take a couple of days. We may not see this thing really move back up into that range we want it to until potentially Monday. So or Tuesday here. I'm thinking about Tuesday we start getting in this level up here. However, that's just the positive outlook. That's the bearish outlook. For a bullish outlook. I'm sorry, that's the bullish outlook. For the bearish outlook, I think we potentially have a ways to go down to still bounce off this trend line here. So it depends on the market. With there being some short shares available, I think they're going to use a lot of those short shares tomorrow to close out options that are in the money. They want to close this thing as low as possible, and definitely want to keep it under 11. Potentially, they want to keep it under 10 or 10.50. So only those at work here with the shorts know what they're doing with that. But I think that this trend line is the nice safe trend line, and I think we could potentially pull back down here to this trend line, which would see us kind of potentially. Let's see, what is this? This is let's see, Thursday, Friday, Monday, right? So Monday, maybe by Tuesday we're, you know, still at that 10.30 range. I mean, it's tough to say. So that's a bearish outlook on the position here. Is that, you know, we could keep continuing downwards and bounce off this trend line here. We might even see a little bit of a push and get rejected to bounce back. That is another possibility, that we come up, we start testing, and then we get rejected, and then we pull back, get that bounce, and then we start making our way back up again, and it could be a little bit slower. On the bullish side, we kind of consolidate for the rest of the day, maybe get a little bit of a pullback even more, or a push up, and we start making our way back up. But we're going to have to break this level here. If we don't break this, we're going to get rejected again, and we're going to come find ourselves down here at the end of next week, and the week after, touching this trend line again. So those are just my perspective outlooks on this position here. Again, we don't have a very large position, but it is large for our account. It's more than 50% of our portfolio, which is only about 500 long at a dollar cost average of 8.97. So that's kind of where we sit. We're going to take a look at some of the other positions in our portfolio here. Nothing really doing too good today. AT&T is actually doing pretty damn good. So we take a close look here at AT&T for the last 2 days. This intraday chart, they are at a high here, 31.49. So we kind of spent some time trading down. I said a few days ago that if we got down below this $30 range, I was going to purchase up some more. We are overbought according to the RSI, and looks like the MACD and signal are about to cross. So look for this thing to pull back a little bit. This may be it for the run today. But this thing doesn't move very heavily. You can see they're up only 1.39% or 1.4% from close of yesterday. This position is the foundation of our portfolio here at 108 long, so not a very large position. We're not trading with a huge portfolio. Only about $10,000, maybe a little bit more in the portfolio here that we're messing around with. And this one is our dividend play. This is kind of our long-term hold dividend. We do see a recovery play here, but we're trying to collect those dividends. And I think there is an ex-dividend date about to come up on AT&T here. So 108 long, dollar cost average 28.98. So we're up about $258. So nothing too bad. Probably a little more than 5-6%. I can't remember where it's at. We kind of float between that 5 and 8% over the last few days. So let's quickly take a look at the ex-dividend. See if there's an ex-dividend date up here. I don't think that there will be, but I can check on my phone. So we'll do that really quickly, and I'll just give you guys that information if you want to take that dividend while it's still hot. And that's potentially why this stock is on its way up right now. Oh, well, never mind. As I was, apologize. I was completely wrong. So I was right about one thing, but wrong about the other. So the ex dividend date has already passed. It was April 8th. So this is not the reason why the position is moving up. And then the dividend payout is on May 3rd. So we're looking to get paid on May 3rd, and that payout would be about 52 cents, I think. I don't think it says here. It's $2.08 annually. Right now, it's a 6.72% yield for the dividend. Yep, 52 cents per share. Quarterly there. So 52 cents per share. I mean, we're gonna make a little over $50, but hey, that's $50 of pretty much free money just for holding the position, and that's why we play these dividend plays. So it's not a lot, but we can take out $50 and we can do whatever the hell we want with it, you know. I will quickly just go and take a look at the 3-year weekly chart here, just so I can show you guys what is going on over here. Why do I have this? All right, so we see the pullback here at 50. I'm gonna get rid of this Fibonacci retracement here because I don't know why we have it. Our bullish case, our bull maximum and bear minimum cases here. You can see here we got our bear minimum case here at we're pretty damn close there. Oh, dude, wrong freaking stock, man. Come on. No wonder why I had that up. Jeez. All right, so we're back here. Here's our case here, right? So this is the pandemic. You can see the drop off here. You can see kind of where we were touching at. So this is our bare minimum case here at 36.27. Bull maximum, I think we get back up to this $39, $40 range, and we start testing that. So we've got a ways up currently with where we set. The bare minimum projection is about 15%, and then 25% for the bull maximum, right? So we're holding this thing long term, potentially looking to get that what did I say, 25 or 35? That 25.89%. We are actually already up about 5% on the position, or a little bit more. So, you know, we're looking to get that. It's going to be a long-term swing, but in the meantime, for as many months as it takes us, you know, every quarter that passes, we're going to gain some ground. We're going to gain some money, and we'll take that $50 and we'll probably throw it back into the position, or we'll throw it into a new position, right? So that's how we started trading back in 2017. Was all dividend investments, right? I do want to cover something here on AT&T we talked about yesterday on the stream. So for anybody who missed it, we're going to go over it right now, and we're going to talk about it in just a moment. But back to the dividend play. Guys, if you're looking for a safe place, look for strong dividend companies that are strong companies that have a very good dividend plan. You can look at the dividend history over like the last 50 or 100 years. You can see how long that they've made the dividend payments, when they went up, when they didn't make the dividend payouts, how much they increased by. There's probably even scores you can find where someone has given it a rating. We don't use that. Pretty much what I look for a strong company. I look for a high dividend yield. Anything above 5% is pretty good in my opinion. Mainly because when you go to a savings account, you're not getting no damn 5%. You're lucky to get 1%. You're lucky to get 1. You can get 4 or 5% on a like a fast or accelerated savings plan, but usually that's a very limited amount. Like with one of my credit unions that I use, it's up to $1,000. So you can gain 4% up to $1,000. After that, kind of knocks back down to that 1%. So yeah, you can put your money in a savings account, but it's just not going to grow the same way. And of course, I would think potentially capital gains are a little bit different there, but I think you follow the same form. So don't quote me on anything taxes. I'm not a tax advisor. I do my own taxes with the help of the internet. You know, so just kind of look on there, find the questions, whatever forms it tells me I need to fill out that they send me in the mail. That's what I fill out, and I send them back in. So all right, moving ahead here. These two lines we've set here, one at May 19th and one at May 27th here. There's two reasons for this. So somebody posted some DD on Reddit yesterday saying that you know, they had from this DTCC ruling that these guys need to cover these synthetic shares from the count, right? Something to do with DTC. Let's just say DTCC is involved, SEC, whatever. AMC did the share count when they were going to do the vote, right? There could be something there where that was a plan for them, but we think more than likely there's a strong possibility that there are a shit ton of synthetic shares out in the market right now on AMC, and AMC knows this. However, regarding that, If there are these synthetic shares, or then these hedge funds or whoever has given these shares out, they need to cover these positions. And so there was a time from the end of the count to yesterday, and then that was the day that they needed to cover these synthetic shares. And if they didn't, they had 21 days to cover those, something like that, right? So it's going to start, and then so whatever this DD was, I'll try to find it. We'll read through it, but basically saying that yesterday they need to cover these synthetic shares, and they have 21 days to do it. So what we did was we mapped out 21 days and 21 trading days, right? So May 19th is 21 days, 21 trading days is May 27th from yesterday. So we're just going to keep our eye on these 2 dates and see if anything crazy happens. If that day we just see a shit ton of volume pump in, and that these positions this position starts moving upwards, and starts to squeeze at that point. So that's kind of what we had those dates. Just want to kind of inform you guys. Keep an eye on those 2 dates. We're gonna try to find the DD Reddit, the Reddit DD this morning, to see about these 2 dates and what that guy was talking about, with the failure to delivers, and the 21 days, to cover. So we'll see. We'll see if after 21 days they got to start buying these synthetic shares back. So that's why we had the 2 days, one for 21 days from yesterday and 21 trading days from yesterday. So we're gonna find the DD today. We're gonna see where it's at here. I'm just gonna go AMC stock, all one word, all lowercase, Reddit. I'm gonna pull it up, see what it is. Okay, old news there. Can we all agree to take Jordan Belfort the fuck off this sub? Is he even on this sub? What is Jackson Hunter talking about? Upwatch in German market. I am willing to hold AMC as long as it takes to achieve life-changing profits. My entire adult life, I worried about rent, food, and having enough gas to get a job. I hated. I always had a feeling there was a better way, and I finally found it. Okay. So I guess the German markets aren't doing so well then, if that's what you're saying here. At some point, yeah, I'm not even gonna go there. Anyhow, you guys can decide for yourself when is a good point for you guys to pull out. I have in the past came out and kind of on stream said some negative things about Ralph Castaneda, and his decision to sell, and I take those back. That's his opinion, and I think I say this at the time that hey, that's his opinion for him to do that. But I think that it was, unless he took a nice profit, I think that it was a stupid timing on him, because if you were looking at the TA, I think anybody could see that AMC, just on a TA standpoint, was about to make a little run, and it did. And from the time he announced it to just a few days after, maybe a week after, it ran up quite a bit. So I mean, I've sold a little bit early and pulled out a little bit early myself, but I always take a profit. I'm not selling for a loss, so I hope that he took that. Anyhow, like I'm saying, is that you guys can decide for yourself when to pull out, and you can't knock anybody else for doing that. Whenever they feel it's their time to kind of get off this ride, shit, somebody else will jump back on. The discounts currently sitting at about 1087. I'm gonna pull up the 1 day 1 minute here so we can just watch the live price action here. That's kind of what we're doing right here. We did get a bounce below this 1075, so that level of support is trash. We're gonna get that out of here. Doesn't mean anything at this point. The one thing is, damn, look at the volume. So this is the thing that we wanted to see yesterday, is where was the volume at. We're going to take a look at third minute of the day here. 339,000, bumped up to 343. We're at 320 something there. Even on the low here, we're above 100,000. The lowest of the day here, we're looking at 61 and probably 48, so 50. I was going to say 50. Currently looking at 373 and moving, 383 and moving, 377 and moving. So we're seeing the volume here. The volume has finally started to step in on AMC. I don't know where the volume was at yesterday or what was going on. Not the kind of volume we want to see on going down, but volume's volume. AT&T still making its move upward, up 54 cents. I'm gonna pull over here just see if there's any news on AT&T. Potentially this is the news that's driving the price action here. Um, Pretty much saying HBO Max to launch at $9.99 a month version with ads in June. So, and people are thinking that that's going to present a threat to Netflix. I don't think so. I rarely watch HBO. It used to be the HBO Go app. I don't even know if I have HBO Max. I don't know if that's a different thing or not. I do really like HBO's content, but I like to binge stuff, so I kind of wait to them to put out a decent little show, and then put out quite a few episodes, and I'll hop on and start binging it. I do need to catch up on some Westworld. I'm on season 3 somewhere in there, just haven't finished it. Let's pull up this tweet from Joshua James, see what he's talking about here. Doesn't say when he posted or he tweeted this for some reason here, but we're about to enter into an oh so familiar territory of 2008 U.S. leveraged loan default rate forecast through June 2021. Damn. You can see here in 2007 and 8 up to 9 where we were at without EFH for the home default rates. I mean, this is the percentage of defaults on home loans. U.S. leverage loan default rate. That's what I would imagine that this is. Yeah, in reference to. We're gonna check it out in a few moments. We'll come back and we'll take another look at it. We'll probably pull it up on his Twitter account. And I'm actually very interested in. God, what the fuck, dude? I don't know why we get a bounce on Reddit. I don't. You guys couldn't see that. It was off screen. But the screen just starts shaking when I'm on certain posts. It's this rocket ship stuff here they got going on to the star. What I don't understand it. So I've been talking to some neighbors in my neighborhood here about where I what's gonna happen, and yeah, I think that we're gonna have some bad years ahead of us in the housing, or good depending on which way you look at it, right? The housing market is going to crash again. That's my personal opinion and belief is that it's going to happen after this COVID thing. The housing market's it's going to take a huge hit. And right now, if we just look at my neighborhood, the houses are very, very overvalued. They're overpriced, right? They're massively overpriced for what you're getting here. It's insane. And we want to buy in the neighborhood, but we can't because I'm not paying as much as what they want, right? So yeah, we could afford a house here, but it would be a small house. You're not getting much for it, and I truthfully think in the next couple of years that the market's going to drop and we're going to have a better time to buy. So at that point, even if we bought somewhere else, potentially I'll just buy another house over here, and maybe move in here, rent the other one out. So I did watch a video a couple days ago from Meet Kevin. I'm not a big Meet Kevin fan. I think he's pretty much just clickbaity. He drags his shit out. I don't know if he knows that there's the algorithm wants you to be within like 10 or 20 minutes or whatever it is, but I think he drags his videos out to do that. He could just get pretty sweet and to the point, but he just drags them out. I mean, of course, I guess you get watched minutes and hours and whatnot, so whatever. But he had a video about how you can turn $10,000 into $100,000, and I mean, yeah, he did it, but when he's talking about, I don't think that's possible at this point in time regarding the housing market and where it's at. Like, it's just not the same. And maybe it is, but the video was a little, I don't know, it was dragged out for my liking. I mean, it's a smart way to do it. He's basically saying he took $10,000 and he got a home loan, and something about he only had to put 3% down, or not a home loan. He bought a house and he only had to put 3% down, which was at 10 grand. And then he ended up refinancing the house like a year later. And it was like all these things like had to fall into place for him to achieve the results that he did. You know, the housing market went up, and he got a good value on a home in a great neighborhood. So we're gonna read this update here in a sec. Anyhow, whatever it was, you know, that's kind of how I did it. It was through the market. I don't think that it's a viable option for most people to do it that way. But you know, occasionally I'll watch some of his stuff. I don't watch too much. It's not my favorite, but you know, he does him, so it's cool. Not knocking the guy or anything, and just not my cup of tea. All right, so we're gonna read this daily update on key data from Ortex. I want to start off today's DD with that I'm very humbled by all the followers I've gained after yesterday's post. However, this will sadly be okay. Blah blah blah. I could actually extend my trial at Ortex for another 7 days, so I'll keep doing DD until then. To compensate, I will do my best to offer a positive DD and clear out some potential FUD, since we have had somewhat of a rough day yesterday, right? On Monday, we had a gain of 13.19%. Then we went down 0.35% on Tuesday. And yesterday, we lost another 5.3%, closing the day at $10.85. The day started quite strong with a day high of 11.39, but then the hedge funds got to work. But we're still in a better position today than we were when the market closed on Friday. It's just going short interest, change down 2.1%. Current short interest percentage of free float 23.25. Borrowed shares 6.65 million, return shares 10 million. Borrowed change is down 3.3 or positive 3.3. So they returned more shares than they borrowed supposedly. As you can see, they borrowed a whopping 6.65 million shares yesterday, while also returning 10.02 million shares. Now, the next part is very important, but all apes must understand that a returning borrowed share is not the same as covering a short position. The overall traded volume on open market yesterday was 39.72 million, and there's simply no way in hell that they covered 10 million shares, more than 25% of the day's volume, with such low overall volumes without it reflecting positive on the price. Exactly my point. That's what there's no way that they covered a shit ton of shares without it reflecting the price, right? The price actually went down. So how to go down after covering, you know, that amount of volume? And I was just talking about a million. This guy's saying that they, you know, returned 10 million, and you know the market volume for the position was only 39. Let's go. A borrowed share is most of the times borrowed with the intent to short it, but we have no idea how long they have been stockpiling these shares without actually shorting them, or if they have covered them previously over a long time and decided to return them yesterday. My theory is backed up by the likes of Joshua James on Twitter, is that they used their stockpiled shares yesterday to create some massive FUD in reaction to the news on Tuesday that AMC would not seek approval of adding 500 million additional shares to the market. The short interest on Ortex is estimated, with a huge emphasis on the word estimated, and they are mostly doing educated guesses. It's a valuable reference, but should in no way be treated as 100% truth, so keep that in mind on days like this. Estimated short interest percentage of free float 23.23, down from yesterday's 24.06, which was all-time high. Percentage free float on loan 35.92, down from yesterday's 37.15, which was all-time high. Shares on loan 150 point. Okay, we're gonna keep saying. I'm not even gonna say all-time high anymore. You guys can probably read that. All the numbers kind of fell out of our favor, is what this is pretty much saying here. Cost to borrow, highest since January 2nd, up from yesterday. So it's actually more costly to borrow. That actually does work in our favor. Days to cover, 2-week average, it's down a little bit. So, of course, and then days to cover 3-month average, it is actually up, the highest since January 26th. So that kind of works in our favor here. This doesn't. This does. The cost to borrow, shares on loan is actually down 5 million. So anyhow, utilization 100%, 7 straight days. Number of loans outstanding 1,363, down from yesterday's 1,432. Exchange reported short interest 93.89 million, all-time high, up from March 31st 73.82 million. Exchange reported short interest, right? So he's just giving an update here, kind of saying that it doesn't reflect kind of our point exactly. That how did they cover this? And so I guess what he's breaking it down, saying is that, and I guess Joshua James started saying this too. I haven't read his tweets yet, but we'll get back into that a little bit later. Is that they stockpiled some shares? They borrowed these shares. They stockpiled them so they could short them at a later point, which would reflect that. Okay, don't care. Um, we reflect the numbers, right? So they would show that that they're all out of shares to available to short and all that. So I don't know. And borrowed shares, there's no more lendable shares, whatever. They borrowed the shares. This is the theory. They borrowed the shares to hold on to them as more ammunition in case it needs to drive the price down. And they used the announcement the day before yesterday of the 500 million share dilution, which should normally have been a positive thing, to actually short the position. But somehow they covered the shorts at the same time and returned shares while also shorting it. I don't know. They must have a shit ton of shares on stockpile right now. Top firms who filed 13Fs today, notifying a secure position AMC. All right. I mean, it's not a lot. We'll take a look. This link is in the description box. I'll leave it up here if you guys are interested in that. It's AMC's institutional ownership, and if you just kind of scroll down, you can see the 13F filings here. So this is for the last quarter. They have like 40 days to file these 13Fs from the end of the quarter. And so they start trickling in, and you can see green rows indicate new positions, so they open, and then red rows indicate closed positions, right? So greens we're looking for, quite a few closed. Unfortunately, with not having this unlocked, it won't tell us, how many shares they sold. It'll just say that that they closed a position here. So we got some open positions. Looks like they were showing up yesterday. One closed out one today, and then on the opens you can actually see, how much. So U.S. Bancorp 44.50. We're seeing here Meter 10,000 shares there. The day before yesterday we see Harrell and Dynamic at 12 and 18,000 respective shares there. So nothing crazy. Commercial Bank at 11,000 shares there. So nothing really massive here. Not like this 175,000 share open position here for NISA. But that information is there if you are interested. It's in the description. You can go check it out for yourselves. You can click on those reports. I'll just show you how to do it real quick. Pull back up. So if you just scroll down and you see which one you want to open, you want to see. All right. So I don't know. It always does that. Just give it a second to load because it'll load in some wrong information. You can see this little pop-out box here with the arrow. You want to click on that. You can click it, and it'll actually tell you about the filing. And it'll say here. U.S. Bancorp filed 13F, disclosing ownership of 4,450 shares. It'll give you value, but don't take this value of anything important. As of March 31st, and then the last one was, all the way back here in August 7th of 2020, disclosing 0 shares. So I don't know what's going on there, but you can see that information. It's a pretty good tool to use, just so you can kind of get a feel for who's buying into this thing, who's closing out of it. Although it's majorly delayed, it's, so you just got to take it as just another source of information. But let's see. When was this? 10 hours ago. Launch Capital usually pulls this up, I think, this data. And as I'm saying it, it is a tweet from Launch Capital. So if you guys want to check out his YouTube channel, he makes good content. I watch a lot of stuff. I usually catch his daily recaps. It's just technical stuff, right? It's just the numbers. No fluff, no filler, just the numbers, and that's what we like. AMC 134,000 contracts traded thus far, 72% calls to 27% puts. So some good information here. His voice is outstanding as well. So deep, bassy voice. Remember the past. Hold, okay. Um, I'm gonna pull this up. I just kind of find this stuff interesting. Bank of America hit with a $12.6 million fine, and Credit Suisse hit with a $11.9 million fine by the EU for illegally colluding on trades of U.S. sovereign and agency bonds at the expense of their clients. Multiple banks involved were labeled as a cartel. Must be Citadel getting desperate and asking for Bitcoin. I replied, send them out, baby. What? So I don't know when this was. This was posted by Ninja Vagabond 19 hours ago. I don't know when this was from Joshua James. Go check his stuff out. His Twitter account. He usually posts some very interesting stuff here. All right, so here's the German market. I was actually kind of curious to see the German market and where it lies. Just seeing Jackson Hunter's post that he made. It's talking about him being up watching the German market. Fortunately for you guys, I read German. Vader Bank AG. No, I'm just fucking with you. I don't understand German. Um, I understand this that it looks like they're up a little bit. Yeah, I mean it just looks like they're up. So I could really kind of figure out what they're saying in here. Google Translate actually has a pretty good app, and you can just like put your camera over the letters and actually translate for you on screen what it says. But a chart is a chart, no matter what language it's in. So I mean, you can see 1.2% up. So pull that off here. A lot of shit posts here. So you guys got to be careful if you're on Reddit. Just take this stuff like as comedy or entertainment. Um, there's some good value here, but as the community has grown, there just has been a bunch of Jesus Christ, man, what is going on here? Whew. Uh, yeah, I'm not gonna go too hard on this comment here. Not even gonna pull it up on screen to really talk about it. But what I do want to say is make sure that you manage your finances wisely. Um, yeah, this person only has a few shares and they had to sell them so they could pay some bills. And if you're having to, I mean that's pretty down. I don't know what they're going through, so like I said, I don't want to go too hard on them, but you never know what the future's going to bring, so you always have to set yourself back something. You could use the market as a savings account if you'd like. I mean, it is it's more risk reward way definitely than a savings account. But if you're a person who likes to blow your money and buy stuff, buy some stocks. You know, you feel like you're actually buying something and you can watch it grow. You can take some risk on it, and hey, buy some dividend stocks, something that's a little bit more stable, and you know, you'll get a nice little return out of it. So anyhow, just take care of your personal finances while you're able to, right? Because you never know what's going to happen in the future. Some more Ortex data. The Iron Sheik, okay. I don't know. There's just a bunch of BS here. I'm looking for this DD we came across yesterday and seeing if I can find it. However, I'm just not able to see it. Bank of America hit with a 12.6 million. Okay, we already read that. Again, when you're watching the charts here this morning, I'm gonna pull this over. Just remember, move to Connecticut. Yeah. Why the fuck would I do that? No Connecticut for me. I like to stay down south where it's nice and warm all year round, where I actually do stuff in the wintertime. Dude, you need to move down south, man. Move to Florida. You can play golf. You can cut your grass every freaking day. You don't have to wait for the 1 month out of the year that you can actually cut your 2 or 3 months that you can actually like work on your yard. I know that's your big thing. You just move down here. I know, you know, Myrtle Beach is your spot, I guess, but just move anywhere down south is gonna be better than Connecticut, man. It's too expensive up there. It's cold all the time. Ah, man, just get out of there. Sell the house. You can buy a mansion for probably what you got in your house right now. Move down south. You'll find a different job. All right, so we're currently in oversold territory here on AMC, and again, for anybody who's a little bit worried, we just want to talk about what we saw here. Pulling up the 180-day 4-hour. You know, we said this on Monday. We are due for a pullback, so we are in that range now, pulling back. This thing could potentially pull back even farther. So you know, just expect that's what could happen. We could pull all the way back down and get this bounce down here on this. I don't think it's going to happen today. That's quite a ways to pull back here. Where is it at? 10.10, just above $10. So, well, shit, I guess it's not that far off, about 60 cents. Honestly, tomorrow could be a battle for 10.01. Imagine that. Why is it every Friday we close super low? So, again, I kind of expect that we're gonna have these days, and we could potentially pull back even farther. So I'm not that worried about it. Once we do see a reversal, also don't get surprised if we get rejected pretty low and get another bounce down. So you see this here, we had a nice little run. We pulled back pretty freaking hard. This is a great example here, right? So you see we're down here at 550. We start making this run upwards. We get to about $11 here, and then we pull back pretty damn harsh. Where do we get up to? About 11.86, right? We get up there, we pull back pretty freaking hard here, all the way back down to about $7. People probably think that it's over. Hell, this is just when I bought more. It starts reversing, and we start getting a push back up. But as soon as we get back up here to a little over 9 and some change, 940 or so, we get rejected once more, and we pull back again down to that level. So, and that's before we get this run up here to 14. So, not saying that this is exactly where we're at, but you never know what can happen in the market. We could run up and get rejected very quickly here. The thing is, we don't have volume. We're not going anywhere. But we are respecting this trend line, so I would not be surprised if we pull all the way back down to the trend line and look for a bounce. Wouldn't surprise me at all. And you know, honestly, I think it's about time we move this trend line here. Really. Let's just mess around with it and see what happens here. We're gonna zoom in and just kind of take a look. I mean, it's pretty close. Yeah, we're gonna be off a little bit, so I'll leave it right there. Um, we'll look for another breakout up here. This is probably what, May 6th. So actually, May 6th is they are releasing their Q1 financial results on May 6th, probably end of day, at end of business day here. And what do you know? This is kind of the day that we're looking to converge again off this new trend line. So we're keeping the bottom one where it's at. We just moved the top one a little bit more. I don't really like it that much, but we're just kind of moving the pennant over. We pulled off of this run up here at 14, which was very good. We did get a breakout above that, and that was solid. We did respect that trend line. So I left the top one where it's at. I just kind of moved out the bottom one a little bit farther and just pulled it off of this one. Could even go a little bit farther down, but I kind of like where it's at here. We see it like probably the convergence is on around May 6th here. So this is May 6th. This is the date that Q1's come out. So could be, you know, May 7th we start seeing that bounce, because at May 6th, what do you know? So there's my next week's prediction that we're gonna see Q1 results come out, and we're gonna see some positive news in this thing and start making that run up. So I'm gonna leave the lines there. Maybe I'll timestamp this thing. I don't even know where I'm at. I'm about 54 minutes in, so I'll just kind of remember that. This is what kind of where we projected this thing. May 6th. Look for this thing to in the after hours start making that move. So I think we're gonna kind of consolidate through then. I think earlier we talked about potentially going down even farther, and possibly until Monday we start seeing the run back up. I don't think we're done moving down yet. I really don't. I think we have a little bit farther to go. However, you can see here we hit a point of resistance here on April 22nd, and we're kind of at that line now. We're pretty close. We actually dropped a little bit farther down. So there's potential that there's some support here. Again, this is just off the 4-hour. We're going to leave that there. So it could definitely change when we look at a 5-day, 5 minutes. Here's the line we just set. It's definitely going to look different when we look at the 1-day, 1 minute. So there's potential there that this could be the bounce for now. 1050 has been a good solid level, but it will not surprise me if we trade down a little bit more over the next couple of days. And again, looking back at the 180-day, 4-hour, looks like we're projecting around May 6th for this thing to start making that breakout. Here's May 6th, making that breakout once it breaks above the pennant and starts running back up. So, yeah, we could keep continuing on down today and tomorrow. We could continue this thing down, honestly. Probably finding some support down here at 10 and a quarter potentially, somewhere in that range, or even get that bounce right here. So we'll see. May 6th. Damn, is that so? Here we got. So next Thursday. So about a week from today. Oh, I always forget I can look at the bottom down here. So let me move this real quick so you guys can see it. Actually, I'm already on the thing. If you can see at the bottom here, you can see the dates. So I think I'm gonna start making some videos in the future, kind of how to work TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim. That's a platform that we use. And if you don't know your way around, it is very intimidating to begin with. But you see down here, you can see the actual date. So if you click on it, or if you just hover above it on the top left up here, it'll give you the date. It'll say the date there. So what we're looking at right here, this is potential where we see the convergence and start getting a breakout in the after hours of May 6th, which actually happens to be, if you look right here, this little dot here, earnings on 5/6 after market Central Standard Time. Earnings conference call on May 6th, 4 p.m. Let's see, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. So just after market close, we got earnings call. So obviously that, you know, it could be a big deal. However, with the projected earnings, they looked like dog shit. Their projected earnings were trash. There's so much debt there on AMC. So I'm hoping that they just kind of use what they potentially had in the filing that they filed. It's like, this is what we already projected, because at the beginning of the quarter, I'm sure they make projections throughout the quarter. And I'm hoping that the projections they had were a little bit older, and that's the projections they were using, and their actuals are a lot better, because they're in some debt. Although I don't expect anything out of Q1 for AMC. I'm expecting Q2 and Q3 to have big results, but I don't expect Q1 to be anything really positive. Although if they beat their projected, by a good amount, that could potentially be a catalyst here. But just based on the TA that we got, looks like convergence down here on May 6th. So I'm potentially looking for after hours on May 6th, not only because of the conference call to help drive that, just because of the convergence that after May 6th we start seeing this thing run back up. And until that point, I think we're probably trading within this channel, maybe even a little bit lower. The channel's at 1057 to 1122. So somewhere within that range, I think we will probably consolidate. If not, hell, we may drop down and get a bounce. So that's kind of where we see. So look out for May 6th. After May 6th, let's see if we can start getting that bounce. Who knows what's going to happen is the market. Nobody knows. Yeah, so like I was saying, so I work in the golf industry. We work with a company. We are a company that works with the PGA Tour, and we set up golf tournaments for PGA Tour. However, so I'm about to leave. I think I have another week here to live stream, and then after that, man, it's gonna be there's no more live streaming here for quite some time, for at least 2 months, until I get back home and I get off. So luckily enough, the way that my work schedule is, it's like 2 months on, 2 months off, somewhere around that range. 2 months on, 1 month off. So when I'm off, I can live stream every single day. But when I'm on the road, I think I'm going to transition over to just making some daily recap videos on the market. And what we're going to do is we're going to touch up on a different stock every day of the week, right? So what we'll do is we'll go through and we'll scan. Maybe I'll have different videos. I'll still cover AMC, daily recap on AMC, but we'll also look to cover another position for something that we think could be a swing trade, a good future play. We'll cover market recap, AMC recap, and then we'll cover a stock. So probably have its own video. Each day will be a different video. Maybe like we'll do Mondays Fubo, Tuesdays Rocket, Wednesdays Cent, whatever it is, right? And we'll just kind of do a recap on that position once a week. We'll see when we get there. That'll keep the videos nice and sweet. Probably drive the viewers up a little bit more. But we don't really do that for viewers. We're going to do this, so I can learn the market a little bit better. This is documentation to me becoming a successful trader, right? A better trader. So likes and views, not really the thing. I've never told anybody to like and subscribe to the channel. I don't really do that. I don't like when people do that. Like, if you guys want to do that, that's cool. But I hate when the first fucking 5 minutes of somebody's video is them coming out saying, yeah, like and subscribe to the video, check out my Patreon, go to the Discord link, pay me this, pay me that. Like, dude, I have a job, right? This is just a hobby for me. Whatever. I still watch the channels, but I definitely fast forward through all that BS. I don't like people asking for money. I hate it so much. I don't know. Where's the DD at? Where's the good DD? This is what I'm looking for over here. I'm trying to find the DD post we found yesterday, and I just cannot seem to find it. uh, I'm not even gonna touch on this. I am kind of curious to see Ralph Castaneda's video though. So he's back in AMC, but you know, we already talked about that earlier and whatever. I mean, look, man, you got to do you, and no one else can really hate on that, right? I don't really care what anyone says. If I sell AMC tomorrow, whatever. That's my personal choice to do so, right? I got to take profits when I feel the need to do so. But as you guys know, if you follow the channel, we like the movement here, and we think that there is a huge squeeze potential. No matter what's currently happening, we do look at the TA and the charts. We kind of follow along and just see what's happening. But we like the stock. And now we're having a red day, right? So what we did earlier, I'll pull it up once more. Let's go ahead and pull up a Fibonacci because we are starting to pull back a little bit more. So we are just underneath the you know, the 50% on the Fibonacci retracement. However, we're not done. These are 4-hour candles, so this candle is not representative as to where we will get the bounce, where we will close at, right? So of course we went underneath it, but we're not you know, potentially we get the bounce, right? But again, I do believe that we're not done pulling back here. So according to this, we're pretty decent on the RSI. I still think we have a ways to go down. Potentially we could drop all the way down here and get this bounce over the next few days. I don't think we go that far low today. Looking at, I think it was a 1 year, 1 day. Potentially, no, maybe not. So we're actually pretty good on the 1 year, 1 day RSI. We're looking, you know, pretty solid here. I guess it was the 4-hour. Look at the 5-day 15. Massively oversold here. I'll say massively. I mean, it's not like massively, but we are definitely oversold on the 5-day 15. 20-day 1 hour, we're just about oversold. And 3-week or 3-year week, that's weekly. We don't want to do that. 10-day 30 oversold. I think we already looked at 20-day 1 hour, just about there. I guess it would be the 4-hour. But we were overbought here. Still not in the best position according to the RSI, but actually pretty good. So we're doing pretty good, right? We were just we're below neutral, right? So neutral would be 50 on the RSI, right? Halfway between 30 and 70 is 50. That's your neutral point on the RSI. We're below that now, so we're actually not doing too damn bad here according to the 4-hour. This doesn't actually look too bad, to tell you the truth here. I kind of like where we're at here in this convergence, moving this trend line over. I actually kind of like that. We may get a breakout even sooner than that, just according to all the other technicals that we're going over, being oversold as much as we are. We could get that bounce this afternoon, potentially tomorrow, and start kind of trending back upwards. But I don't know. We'll see. The thing is we just need we need volume. Here's a DD post saying, if you look at the numbers, we're doing really good. Hedge funds burned through 400,000 lendable shares in 2 hours, and the price is still above $10. Inflow is much larger than outflow. We are too powerful. Okay. If you say so, man. I agree. Where's the rest of it? This is good for us in what way? Is that it, or is there two photos? Yeah, here we go. I'm a dumb ape. It means the market is a giant overinflated bubble propped up by cheaply bought debt, and when it pops, everything is going to readjust to a lower value, except assets that are overly shorted. They're going to the moon. So yeah, that's pretty good. We talked about this earlier. The U.S. leveraged loan default rate. Defaults are going through the roof right now, and it's looking very reminiscent of back before the housing market crash of 2008, when they were all the way up here above 10%, right? Oh, so this is projected, right? So the red is projected here. We're projected to hit about 6% in this summer, June 2021. Time to start shorting the housing market? I don't know. Don't forget, get rid of the sell orders. Stop loss. Okay. Should you buy AMC stock? The analysts say not at any price. Yeah. Fuck the analysts. It's all they ever say. Why does anyone even look at this stuff? When you look at it, it just shows click-throughs, and they think that they're, that's what they want. They want the view on it. Just stop even viewing it. And what I'm talking about is these articles, right? The reason why I talk about, if there's something on TV that I don't like, I change the channel. I don't care if I'm not watching TV or anything. I change the channel. Do not give them the view. Because that's how they read to think if people like their content. If you flip over to ABC and they start talking shit about something you don't like, change the channel. Get that view off of there. Or whatever it is. If you don't like Dance with the Stars, change the channel. Don't give them the view, because that's their viewership will, that's one less viewer. Same thing with reading these stupid freaking shill articles that these so-called journalists write. AMC Entertainment Holding is not worth owning at any price, barring a drastic change to its business model. Given poor fundamentals and a mountain of debt, 221% of market cap, we don't. That's all that I see. Yeah, this is kind of a. I guess it's just a to grab your attention and make you mad. The headline here, they're giving this. You know what? Honestly, for AMC to survive in the long term, they definitely have to change their business model up, right? They were already on their way down before the pandemic hit, and the pandemic really just pushed them down. I think that they may have a good plan, but they haven't announced anything like that to the shareholders yet. The annual shareholder meeting is coming up, but they're looking at all the same bullshit. What I'd like to see them do is add bars and restaurants into every single AMC theater. They've started to change something somewhat where you can actually rent out the theater. It makes it a little bit easier to do so. That's kind of cool. But there should be bars and restaurants in every single AMC theater nationwide. If they get to close out one theater room to make a restaurant, then that's what they need to do. It's a lot of space that's potentially going to waste here for AMC. That's my my thoughts for their long-term stability. Short term, they're doing fine. They're bouncing back. People going to the movies. I think it's decent. There that stupid article is again. Heavy downward movement. It would be a shame if it dropped in. Okay, whatever. Just this is Ortex's tweet from, I don't know. It says 2 hours ago. We'll see. AMC short interest update, and AMC has gone down since yesterday, indicating short sellers have started buying back shares. Utilization 100%, days to cover 3 million volume average 1.16, days to cover 2-week average 3.63. Estimated short interest percentage is 23.26. Percentage of free float. Shares on loan 150 million. So Supposedly they're buying back these shares, covering back, but why is the price not going up if that's what they're doing? Doesn't make any sense to me. Here's a tweet from Andrew Mo Money. AMC $10.85. Data dive. Why the dip? He's got a YouTube video, I guess. 650,000 shares available to borrow at 18.6% interest. 9,408 ETF shares available. 41,165 calls expiring in the money this week. 18,000 more in the money at 11. Or so just closely out the money, right? When he says in the money expiring this, I wonder if this is 10, 10, 50, both of those. 42% short percent of volume last trading day. So 42.7% short what? Really? So that's not what we've seen this morning. This is only showing 20% short volume ratio. I don't know. I don't know. All right, guys, it's about that time for me to grab the second cup of coffee and leave you guys on the screen for just a moment. If you want to chat amongst yourselves, there you are. I'll leave you up on this screen. Have at it. Say whatever you like. I don't really care. And we'll be back in a few moments.
Mic off. Mic on.
All right, we're back. Why did I leave you on this fucking page? What the fuck was I doing? Man, I apologize. I should have like checked out everything before I did that. Going back to the chart here, down to $10.47 here. We got a bounce right down there at low of 1041. So low for the last 2 days. Again, not worrisome to me at all in the least bit. Let's check out the flex grid, see how GME's doing. GME is actually down to 172, so they're actually having a little bit of a down day as well. Not as bad as we are. So we have kind of separated ourselves from GME. We just kind of like to check in on them every once in a while, see how they're doing, see where we stand compared to them. A lot of volume right there. 478,000 on this sell here. That could be some shorts down there. So I don't know, man. I think that this thing keeps driving down a little bit here. Again, according to our trend line, we could potentially go down even farther and get that bounce here at some point. They could try to drive this thing below 1001, which would not fit in line with our trend line at all. So we'll see. If you guys are looking to add to your positions while we're on this pullback, keep in mind that you can scale in. So as it's dropping, you could say, oh, we set the level of resistance right here at 1050 or 1060, whatever it is, 1057 right there, and I want to buy there. Well, then it drops a little bit lower. You could, if you've got $100 to spend, throw 25 in, 25 more later, or 50 in, 50 later, and watch where it kind of goes, right? You want to put all 100 in, and then it keeps dropping, and then you could have bought even more, and you're still red on the day, right? So if you're trying to average down, just kind of keep that in mind that you can scale in. No need to buy everything all at once. You potentially watch things to scale in it if you think it's going to continue on down. You don't know where this thing is actually going to get a bounce at. We're gonna remove this, right? This isn't really, it's not holding up for us right now. I'm gonna set a new one here. I kind of like this level here. We see it's a level of resistance for us at this 1030 range. I kind of goes back to that 10 and a quarter, right? Level resistance right here held through pretty strong for this day and into the after hours before we got that push through it a couple days back. So we could get a bounce there for today, 1030. Could be our level of support, but again, who knows? Who knows what's going on out there? Let me open the door for my dogs. They're going crazy. Just in case they want to come in. If they want to come downstairs, they can do so.
Mic off. Mic on.
Trying to calm down here. My girlfriend's sleeping in today. She didn't have to work today, so don't want them to wake her up. All right, so kind of holding fast here. Again, I think that this could continue on down. Yeah, volume's starting to taper down. I don't know. We're not going to see much out of this thing today. I don't think that we get a strong bounce and a good reversal today. Again, I think that we potentially keep falling down or trading sideways. Let's look at the level 2s here. We haven't looked at them today quite as much. Not really much going on here on level 2s. Kind of the same old song and dance that we see, mirroring bid and ask price. Or not really mirroring, but bid and ask price kind of staying 1 cent across from each other to kind of keep this thing down.
Mic off. Mic on.
So But they're not massive, right? Sell walls are not massive right here. We just don't have volume for this thing. We don't have the catalyst to drive it. This is a very catalyst driven stock here. So when we see something, some news come out, that's why we're looking at May 6th, after May 6th when the earnings call comes out, that there's potentially when we get our big reversal. But who knows? That could be a terrible earnings call. I don't anticipate it being a really good one unless they're holding something back, unless AMC's holding back earnings and what they reported the other day on that SEC filing. Um, was just like old information, and they're actually doing a lot better, and they're actually gonna beat earnings. Who knows? Let me just zoom in really quickly here so you guys can see. Yeah. So again, we could go back and touch this trend line. You never know where this thing is gonna go, especially now if they've got more ammunition to short this thing. But I think we're trading in this range. You know, I don't know how much lower we're gonna go today, but I don't think we get like this big strong reversal when we get back up to 11 today. I don't think so. Not that quickly. Not off of no news. There is no news to drive this thing back up. So unless something comes out today, I think we're kind of where we're at for today and potentially tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll see them short us again to try to drive that price down to cover less calls in the money and potentially, drive us down to under 11 or under 10, 1001. Potentially, I would like to see us stay above the trend line and kind of respect this trend line and maybe get down and bounce off of it. I think this is going to be a battle tomorrow. But again, I don't know. You guys can use this time to scale in if you like. If you want to average your position down, if you are in red on your position, maybe it's not such a bad time to start averaging down. Kind of figure out what you can put in, and put a portion of that in. Then see if tomorrow if it goes down, put maybe another portion of that money in. Just kind of watch it scale in, so that way you guys can start averaging your position down if that's what you want to do. For me, at this point, I would be averaging up. Again, we are in at 897. So we're down quite a bit now. We were up to about $1,500 a couple of days ago, so we're down quite a bit here. We're down to about $800 right now over the last few days. Still net positive about $750. So we're all right. I am not looking to average up in this position anymore. I think we kind of got what we want to put into it. I do have got some more dry powder on reserve in case we want to put some more in there, but truthfully, I'm kind of fine with where we set at the moment, and I'll just kind of keep holding on for a little bit longer. I got that money on reserve, so if we want to put some in somewhere, honestly, we'd rather watch some other positions, see if there's anything popping up that we think we could day trade. Maybe start getting back into day trading, and while we have another week here at the house, because once I get back on the road, I will not be able to day trade. So it will be more of the swing trade investing. Let's see, AMTX. I mean, we're pretty much down in every position except for AT&T and AMC, and those are our two largest positions. So overall, our account's looking pretty damn good. Everything else we've got, I mean, super small position sizes just because we were practicing with some things. So we used a very small dollar amount so that we're still learning. If we mess up, it's no big deal. We can just hold on to it for a little bit longer. It's not going to hurt us. So. I don't know. We'll see. 1044 and kind of holding. Kind of see where we're at. I mean, 1032 here. This 1030 range could be that that level that we get down to. That could very well be where we kind of end the day at today. I would not be surprised if we got down to 1030. So. Again, we were overdue on the 4-hour. We were in overbought territory. It was time for us to pull back. We predicted the pullback on Monday, that we would see a pullback on Tuesday or Wednesday. And we did see the pullback this week. So, yeah, we called it here on Monday, mid-morning, that we were going to see a pullback Tuesday or Wednesday. And sure enough, yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday now. We're seeing this pullback, and it's quite a big one. According to the Fibonacci right now, again, this is 4 hours, so we haven't closed yet. But actually, man, we still got a little ways to go, right? what is that? 10:30. It's right on our mark. So, yeah, I'm expecting to see this thing drop down to about 10:30 then. I expect that we would get there, and that's potentially where we get that a little bit of a bounce at. Again, we could even drop a little bit farther down. No one knows what the stock's going to do. Yeah, we could try to bounce off this trend line. So this trend line's been held up fairly nicely, you know, give or take a couple of cents here and there where we've kind of came under and closed above. But this is according to the 4-hour time frame, the 180-day 4-hour. I just kind of pulled to the lowest point that I see right here, you know, in the last few weeks. Set it to the highest point and pull the Fibonacci from that. And looks like we're not quite done yet. So we're all right. It's nothing to worry about. I admit I was a little bit worried a couple days ago when the news came out and then the stock price started dropping. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was trying to find any information, and there was only one real source out there. And so I was kind of listening and watching, and person made some very, very valid points and kind of made me a little bit worried. But then the more I started doing some research and thinking about it, I think it's probably a good thing overall. Overall for the company, overall for the stock, I think in the end it's going to be okay. But again, we are due for a bit of a pullback here, so I'm not surprised. Again, you see we consolidated here for a few days in this 1030 range. So 1030's pretty decent level of you know, support and resistance here. Somewhat, you know, we've kind of traded in that range, so would not be surprised to see us go down a little bit farther than we currently stand. And most of those having a pullback here. AT&T's pulling back. Take a look at the intraday. Got to a high of 31.53 and then starting its pullback here as well, but just coming off of being oversold. So you see the MACD's crossing over the signal here on the MACD chart. So looks like we're starting to consolidate a little bit more. What are we down? 38 cents in AMC here today. Down about 3.46%. Let's zoom out here on a 20-day 1-hour. Let's pull a Fibonacci from that. And kind of the same deal here. You can see 1027 is where they have this Fibonacci at, so not surprised if we do go down a little bit farther and potentially bounce off that. But also would not be surprised to see us go down and touch this trend line, whether it be today or tomorrow. So not really surprised with where we're at here. But what I wanted to see is, if you look, this is from our low point here to where we currently are. We're still up 25% from that low point down there. And let me just remove it real quick. So this was on April the 13th, so just about 2 weeks ago. Not bad. I mean, 25% in 2 weeks. I mean, come on. That's a pretty damn good return for, you know, if you were swinging this thing. So we're doing okay. Nobody freak out. Nobody worry. It's all part of the way the stock moves, right? It's a breathing, living kind of being. It's going to go up. It's going to come down. It's going to go up. It's going to come down. That's just what it's going to do. So we're having ourselves a pullback. According to the Fibonacci, if we take it on the 20-day or the 180-day 4-hour, we have not even yet... Jeez, you're going crazy. Not even reached the 50% on the pullback, so we have a little bit farther to go. We find some levels of resistance and support here at $10.30 in that range. And, you know, we're still up, currently up 25% from where we were back here on April 13th. So just keep that in the back of your minds. 25% is no little number to shake a stick at. That's a very nice percentage to be up, even after you see, like, yeah, we were up a little bit more. Let's see kind of where we're at on the pullback here. We're down about 17% over the last couple days. Is what it is. Whatever. So We were up quite a bit more than that 25, but we're still up 25%. So no need to freak out, no need to worry. But hey, you guys do you. You know, you make your own decisions on your position and your portfolio. And if you gotta do something, then you gotta do something, right? So this is just my personal opinion and what I see in the charts and the TA that we're looking at currently. Um, we're looking pretty good. We were very much overbought here according to the RSI, looking around that range right now of being oversold according to the RSI. So, you know, we could potentially be just about done, right? And that's kind of what we're looking at here is that that 1030 range potentially is where we get that bounce. You know, and that's a a bearish scenario in this situation or in this scenario. It's a scenarioception that we get a bounce there or we drop a little bit lower just briefly to oversold and we start looking for a bounce there. But either way, we're gonna have to consolidate somewhere. Probably we'll consolidate for a day or two, and then again, I think May 6th is when we're gonna see that catalyst. Hopefully AMC's got some good news, but we'll see if this pennant, if we get that convergence and we have a breakout after May 6th according to this pennant here that we've drawn up with our trend line. So we'll see what's going to happen there. Only time will tell. It's just you got to be patient in the market. Paper hands don't make money. You got to be patient.
Mic off. Mic on.
Yeah, man. I'm still live. The God Pill. Do you add tags to your videos? You should have way more views. Yeah, I do add tags. I only add a few. While you're here, I'll make the apology public. I did state earlier on, I'll kind of keep most of the stuff private just between us on the email. You know, it's up to you if you want to make it out there, but I do want to apologize publicly for some comments I made on a video a few days ago after I got kind of your side and went back and I was wrong, and that's just the bottom line to it, and I should just kind of kept that comment to myself, but just wanted to apologize and, you know, let my viewers know that who I watch and stuff like that, and I kind of watch everybody, but yeah, I appreciate you joining in, man. It's an honor, I guess. So yeah, I probably should have way more views. I think that the biggest thing with YouTube is that most people don't want to sit around for 2-3 hours. Hey, appreciate that. Yeah, you're for real. I mean, that's kind of you know, going back to the email I sent you last night, is that you know, a lot of YouTubers are fake. They only say good things about the stock. They only say positive things. They're very cautious of what they say. They won't curse. They kick anybody off the chat who says even a slightly negative thing, and they don't read comments unless you send them a $5 super chat or a $50 super chat. They're not gonna read shit, and I don't like that. I don't like that. You know, you have to spam their comment section to get a comment, and then they just kind of skim over it like it's nothing. You know, you kind of dive into each one, and appreciate that. That's a real YouTuber. So. But you know, that's not to knock anybody. Everybody's got their own shit that they want to do, and that's cool, man. Like I said, I watch almost everybody for their own information. But yeah, what we're kind of just really briefly chatting about is I think that we're not done falling yet. I think we've got some support down here. Potentially, we've got some shorts coming in, looking good on the RSI right now to get that reversal. However, I think that we probably will continue back down. And I don't think we're out of the woods yet. I think it's going to take a few more days before we get a reversal. We've got to consolidate first at some point, and that consolidation time could take a little bit. I don't see any catalyst driving this thing until potentially after May 6th is announcement, their Q1. But I think the Q1s are going to be shit. I don't think they're going to be good. I think the Q1s are actually going to be bad. If you looked at the SEC paperwork that they filed the other day, and I know Godpill read it off on his, so if you guys want to go back and check his live stream from a couple days ago, 2 days ago, when AMC announced this stuff, they released their financials or projected financials, and they're a pile of dog shit. They're a white dog turd covered in another dog turd. They are trash. They are they're just they're not looking good, right? So they need the $43 million to stay in business after this year. But that's beside the point. I'm still rocking with AMC. I'm still holding. I think the squeeze potential is huge. I think the recovery play is still there. But they needed the 43 million to do that, and they knew that they were not getting it from the investors. I'm gonna send you a screenshot of my tags or something, because even before my crazy stuff, 100 subs was easy, and you've been doing this too long for 35 subs. Yeah, man, it is what it is. I appreciate it though. That's cool if you want to do that. I have a few, mostly just kind of the simple stuff like stocks, AMC, and a few other things that I cover. But again, most of this channel is just me kind of talking to myself here with my usually one viewer, two viewers, a couple viewers at a time. I don't make the videos. I think if I made videos, I would probably get a lot more views, just because, you know, it's all condensed. The algorithm will probably like it a little bit more. But for me, yeah, man, I'm learning about the market, and it kind of helps keep me dedicated to my strategy on the way I like to day trade and stuff like that. But hey, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you stepping in. That's awesome to see. I don't think we're gonna stream for too long today. I got some stuff to do around the house, and I think this is gonna be a pretty boring day, to tell you guys the truth, here on AMC. Looks like we're just consolidating. Everything else in our portfolio is looking, you know, meh. You know, AT&T is doing okay, up a little bit, but AT&T, as we talk about, when it moves, it looks big, but it's not. It's only about a 1% move. Look, we're only up 1.09%, or now 1.08% from close of yesterday, and this is going off of a little bit of a news catalyst here. AT&T just does not move, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a strong, solid foundation in our portfolio, and that's why it's about 50% of our portfolio here, and we want that dividend, right? We think there's upside here of us to bearishly get about 15-16% from where we currently stand, and actually that will put us about 20, and then about 25 for the bullish scenario that we have. But it could take months to get there, and all the time you know, that it takes, it's fine, because we'll just collect those dividends. We've got one coming out, I think it was May 3rd. So if you guys held this thing as of, I think, April 8th, I want to say was the date we read off, you'll get that nice little 52-cent per share dividend. So always good to take that capital. Hell, it's only $50 for me, but I'll take it. I'll reinvest it somewhere else, and turn that $50 into next month's rent money. Shout out Kevin Malone from The Office. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you already know. If not, watch more Office. Come on. AMTX, we're kind of still screwed here on AMTX. We got into a bad trade. I should have known better than to buy something when it's at its all-time high, thinking that it's going to continue to go up. At some point, it will have a pullback, and at some point, it could potentially have its reversal. But I mean, just looking at the chart here, massively overbought, and it was due for a pullback, and we should have known. Luckily, we're only in for 2 positions here, so what, you know, out $25. It's nothing, nothing big. Our portfolio size is about 10 grand. That's what we kind of trade with here, and it's just, you know, kind of a hobby for us. So this is you know, what we're doing. We don't have a lot in here. We're not making a ton of money, but I look for percentages. I try to get that you know, that 5% on a trade. Yeah. So our options contract for AMC, and this is where the potential is to make some big money. It doesn't look like it shows. We've got it here at $62. We actually used that time to average down. All right, so this is on. Let me change this chart here. Well, let's look at the 1 day, 1 minute. So it actually got down to $30 here. And what we would like to see is if it drops any lower, I'll just keep averaging this down. I mean, what's $30, right? I can take that that dividend that we're gonna get on AT&T, and I could put this in this options play here. So the value that this could make, just looking at the numbers here, right? So let's go back to the 1 year, or the 180. Hell, even the 1 year, right? So for this contract, if you look back here, early in February, actually end of January, this options contract alone was worth about $900, right? You could have got it down here for a hell of a lot less. So You can turn $18 into $900 if we get back up to this point when we see this squeeze here. So the value in options is there for sure. You can make a shit ton more money trading options than what you can ever make trading stocks. I like the stocks. I don't know enough about options. That's why I rely on other traders to kind of inform me, and I've got to do more research, you know, to kind of help out with that. Oh shit, what am I doing? But currently where we stand, I should probably start averaging down here very, very soon. If we drop below $30 per contract, I will start averaging down even more. We're down to 62 now, which is a lot cheaper, hell of a lot cheaper than where we first got in at about $165 when this option contract. When we were back at like 14 is when I got in. Let's look at, is it on the 20? It's not even on the 20. We've been holding this thing for that long, and we're still far enough out that the theta hasn't really eaten us up that bad yet. So the closer we get to expiration, the theta will come in and start kicking our ass. But until that point, we are okay. This is June 18th. Potentially, hopefully at some point when we get around May, if we haven't started to run this thing up, potentially by the third week in May is when I'll look to dump this thing out. But when we get about 30 days out, theta really starts to kick in and really starts to eat up this this contract. So we're gonna keep looking and seeing where we're at here. To see where we're at on the 5-day here on just on this option contract alone. It got a low of $28, so not bad. If we get down to that 28 and sub 28 again, we'll look to add some more to drop this thing down. All we need is a little bit of a bounce up, get us back up to 12. And if we average down enough, we could potentially be profitable in this contract and close this thing out for a little bit of a profit. However, if we get the squeeze that we are all expecting, this contract could be very, very profitable. You could take right now, it's at $32. You could take this $32, and if we saw the squeeze and we got up, just going off of where it was at before, at the 180, you can see it was up to $900 up here. So to take something that's like $32 and turn to 900 is pretty awesome. Not saying that's what's going to happen, but there's potential to make that and even more. So we're only messing around with like 5 contracts there. Again, we just something on the side. If we don't know enough about it, we don't invest a lot of money into it. So we just kind of throw the money out there and see, knowing it's probably a gamble. It's for me, it's better than going to a casino and throwing on a roulette table or betting on a game. There's actually some science behind it and some TA you can do behind this thing. So, yeah. So that's kind of what we're saying with the options contract. We're not down too bad in that position because we were able to average down. AMC is doing AMC shit right now, which is the reason why some people sell out, is because they just can't handle the amount of time it takes and the amount of patience you have to have for this stock, because most days it doesn't really do much, but it's still healthy. It's still maintaining healthy bullish momentum right now. It has yet to cross 50% on the retracement, so it's still very, very much bullish here, and we're very much bullish on AMC. All right, I do want to pull this up. This is kind of a good point here. We'll pull this picture up. This is from, it's not even a name. It's just LXOXOXOXL, 23 hours ago. It looks like it's actually from @DogeFam on his Twitter. He said, y'all want to see something funny? We're winning. Don't doubt that. They doubled their short positions for pretty much sideways trading. Meanwhile, who has been scooping up the shorts? You sexy apes. All these hashtags, all shorts must cover. And then here's the photo. Let's try to zoom in and see if, yeah, you guys should be able to see that here. Basically showing the short interest shares versus the price. And if you look here, it's, yeah, pretty much double the short interest or the shares, right? The short shares, and the price is just pretty much traded sideways. So double down on shorts, price stays the same. Yeah, looking good for us. Let me zoom back in here at 100. There we go. Just gonna keep looking for some stuff here on Reddit, see if there's anything good. Doubt that there really is. Let's go run AMC. Don't be the jabroni. This is from the Iron Sheik. So nice little shout out there. Some celebrities have popped into AMC. All right, this is actually the kind of DD that we've been looking for a while. So let's go ahead and read this out before we get off stream today. This is written by or posted by I Fachman. What? Did I read that right? Ein Fachman. If you heard that like I heard it, basically, yeah, just read it again. Ein Fachman, right? You guys know what I'm saying. Amazon has its earnings report tomorrow. No, it does not. Oh, Amazon does. Okay. I was going to say AMC does not. Yesterday, most of you all received text messages saying AMC is in play. I don't know who that meant or who sent that message. I'll just get back to it. All right. So in play signifies rumors of a major dealing coming, such as a major acquisition. It's no secret that Amazon has wanted to buy out a movie theater chain. In 2019, Amazon tried to invest in the Egyptian theater, but lost the deal because Netflix, their competitor, acquired it before them. Amazon wants to beat their competitors, Disney and Netflix, by gaining an advantage in having their very own movie theater chain. AMC is a cheap acquisition and an easy profit, as it would easily drive the share price up exponentially with an acquisition. Sorry. Not saying it's going to happen, but all the cards are in place. Adam Aaron did the SEC filing to have 43 million shares ready to sell yesterday. He might be seeing a short squeeze on the horizon and wants to capitalize on it. Adam Aaron and these giant companies are not stupid. They see how vulnerable the hedge funds are right now. It's an easy win for them. All it takes is one push and the dominoes start falling. This is all just speculation, so please take it with a grain of salt. This first comment, so Amazon would be akin to Porsche in the 2008 Volkswagen squeeze. I would like the sound of that idea. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know if the phone calculator can do it. Let me get my other calculator. Let's see how many. Let's just say that this is probably stupid simple math, and I'm gonna use a calculator anyway. So we got 43 million shares here. Oh shit! All right, so this is a construction calculator, Construction Master 5. Great calculator if you guys are in construction. Bad calculator for math, for like long math. All right, so 43 million divided by, let's just call the share price $10.50. Yeah, maybe I need to turn this thing sideways. There. Actually, no, I did that completely wrong. Sorry. 43 million times $10.50, right? So that's roughly about $451 million and a half there. 451 million. Yeah, I don't know. Would that be enough? I don't know. What I'm getting at is that, if there was a possibility for AMC to sell these 43 million shares to AMC, so AMC could acquire AMC, or Amazon could acquire AMC, would that be enough? And I'm just taking the 43 million shares that they would sell, or basically that's what Amazon would buy. I don't think that that's a large enough. Maybe that they would go in business together. Maybe it wouldn't be a complete acquisition. Maybe Amazon would buy a like a big portion. But I don't think that AMC is worth 43 million or 430 million or 450 million. Yeah, 451 million. I think that it's worth a hell of a lot more. And if we were to look at the market cap here. Where is it? I don't use FinViz very often, so I've got to find out 4.80 billion, right? So essentially, that's kind of what, to my knowledge, this is how they value the company. I would assume somewhere around there, right? Just based on the shares, and the current share price, stuff like that. So, $4.8 billion is kind of what they would say the company is worth. So, that sounds a little bit better to me, that the company's probably worth around $5 billion. I don't think that they're only worth 450 million. No way. So I don't know about the 43 million being that, but I think maybe, and he did talk about this, right? Although Adam Aaron, in a previous interview, he did not say about another company buying those shares. They wanted to use those 500 million to potentially acquire other movie theater chains, right? And so he never mentioned anything about actually being bought and providing those shares to whoever were to acquire them, right? But that could be it, right? They want to bring in these 43 million, and they need the money, right? We already talked about this earlier, that AMC needs the money. They are not doing very good right now. They're in a shit ton of debt. Let's see. Just posted your link to Stockwits to try and get you some subs and viewers. Hopefully helps. Keep it up. Good luck. Hey, I appreciate it, Craig. Amel. Yeah, man. Like I said before, I don't really. I'm not sub hungry. I'm not view hungry. You know what I mean? I appreciate anything you guys want to do. That's cool. Definitely not asking for it. Anything like that. I definitely appreciate it though. Thank you very much. We just kind of do our own thing, and I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just a bored person. This is what I want to do. I think it makes me a better trader. I kind of learned these things along the way, and especially when I'm doing my scalps and day trade stuff, it helps keep me focused on my strategy. Because if I'm going to preach a strategy here of know your entry point, know your exit point, which for me 5% is what I'm looking for on a day trade. Know where you stand on the PDT rule. Don't get greedy. Like, it kind of helps keep me in check, so I don't get kind of stupid, and I kind of stick to that plan and trading off of volume and catalysts and stuff like that, right? So I have my strategy for day trades, and if I'm live streaming it, then hell, it kind of keeps me focused on my strategy, and so for that reason, that's one of the reasons I really like to stream. But definitely not view hungry or sub hungry. I'm not trying to become a monetized channel by any means. I don't want to turn into one of those YouTubers who in the first 5 seconds are like, yeah, I like the video, subscribe to the channel, we're here. Looks like 95% of you guys are not subscribed, and blah blah blah. Like, I don't go to my Patreon if you want to get exclusive content and this and that. And yeah, I don't yeah. Anyhow, I appreciate though. Thank you very much. The more the merrier. That's cool with me. It probably will drive me to make better content in the future. So if anything, that could be a good thing. Still just looking over here on the AMC Reddit, since AMC's pretty much taking a shit right now and not doing anything. It's like poking a dead person with a stick. It's just like not moving right now. But we already talked about where it's at, where it's going, what we think's happening. I actually think that it's probably potentially going to keep going down. I think tomorrow we're going to see another red day. We could see it drop all the way down, I think, potentially to about that 1030 range, unless these hedges really want to short the hell out of it and try to get it down to sub 1001. Potentially now maybe they just want it under 1050. I don't know what they want. I haven't looked at the options contracts to see where the majority of out the money and in the money would be for them. I may look at that this afternoon when I get a sec. Why is this not moving here? Jeez. There we go. All right. Try to get that. There we go. All right, so it's back and moving. I'm trying to get this thing so it's still in frame. So I don't really know where they want to get this down to, but I would not be surprised if AMC drops any farther. So I think that it's potentially gonna keep going down. I think right now we're just having a consolidation period. It is about I don't know, it's on 10:30, so it's a little bit early. We think it's going to consolidate a little bit more. Here, I'll pull this off the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. So for the new viewers here that are just stepping in, and appreciate Craig for giving that shout out over on Stockwits. Appreciate it, man. We've got our trend line set. We had respected this trend line. We said this a while back, maybe a couple weeks ago. We respected the trend line a couple of times on our way up, right? So we predicted that we were going to get this bounce here. We predicted it in two ways. We knew when you're going off of FTDs and failure to delivers, if you go back to the quadruple witching day and you count the days from which it squoze the last time back from January, as it was December 18th until the squeeze, it was about 22 to 24 days when we actually started getting that squeeze. Now, if you go back to March 19th, the most previous quadruple witching day, which everyone has seemed to forgotten about, you count the days, and I want to say it was last Tuesday and Thursday were the 22nd and 24th days respectively. So I knew we were going to see a bounce just based off of that. I think that if you kind of count days from then and you're thinking about FTDs and the failure to delivers of those all those options, on quadruple witching day of March 19th, they're just now starting to cover that stuff, and that's why I think we were going to see a bounce. We kind of predicted that we are a rise. We did see that start to go up, and then here you can see it big as day. When we started getting into this overbought territory here on the RSI, I knew we were going to expect a pullback. We called it on Monday that we were going to see a pullback potentially Tuesday or Wednesday, and it was Tuesday and Wednesday that we saw the pullback, and again here on Thursday. So pulling up a Fibonacci, we are still doing pretty good. If we pull from the low point here, we're going to set up pretty high. You can see we're not even at 50% retracement here on the Fibonacci, so we still got a little ways to go. And where does that 50% go? $10.28, which is right by our trend line at 1030, or our price level at 1030. And we only set this price level this morning, just kind of going off of some previous patterns here, levels of resistance, levels of support that we've seen. And 1030 looks to be a decent level that we could potentially get that bounce. However, we have respected our trend line down here quite a few times. We are not yet oversold according to this 4-hour, so we could still keep trending down. Looking on the and get a bounce down here. I mean, it could drop all the way down to about $10 here. I don't think it's going to keep going that far today. I think we stay above 1030 for today, but potentially tomorrow we either consolidate. Well, I guess here every freaking option, right? We consolidate, we go up or down. I mean, every freaking option, but. I would not be surprised to see this thing get shorted down again tomorrow to keep those contracts from closing in the money. But I think that it does not get lower. I really don't think it gets lower than 10. I mean, I don't know if they had the ammunition. They may. Then that would just kind of be them shorting it down to close below 10. And then next week we start seeing this thing rise up. Monday we see a good positive green day on Monday. For sure. I think that's what happens. We've seen that quite a few times the last few weeks. Monday we see the green days, and then again March 6th, that's going to be a big day. After March 6th, you see we converge here. We set our pennant with the trend lines. I think we get the convergence here in the after hours of March 6th, and that's on that day. And this is the earnings here. You can see the earnings call is about 4 p.m. So in the after hours we get the earnings call. Could be good, could be bad, but either way, I think we get that breakout and we start trending up above. I think if it's a bad earnings call, it could hurt us for potentially a little bit and drive us back down into our trend line, and then we get a bounce, and then 2 days later, everybody forgets about the earning call and it starts trending back upwards. So that's my predictions for next week. Is that probably after hours of May 6th, we see a heavy move, whether it's positive or negative. I'm thinking it's positive, but I'm thinking that Adam Aaron and AMC are kind of holding back the earnings, right? So if we were to go look, let's see, I got to see if I can even find it. Maybe tough to find. AMC SEC filing. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for the actual SEC filing paperwork that they put. I always have a fucking tough time finding this stuff. April 27th, there's an 8K. Let's see if this is what I'm looking for. All right, I think this is what we're looking for here. I'm going to pull it up very briefly on the screen. Just to see. Yep. So here we go. I think this is what we're looking at. And if you look at the net loss and some of these numbers here, God, that's sorry, my screen. This is a 32-inch monitor at 1440. So the text is very hard to read in this format. So here on this first line here, the company has released certain limited preliminary results for the 3 months ending March 31st, 2021. So Q1 results here. The preliminary results are unaudited, subject to completion of the company's quarterly financial reporting process based on information known by management as of the date of this document, and do not represent a comprehensive statement of our financial results for the 3 months ending March 31st, 2021. So the company expects a total revenues for the 3 months ending March 31st to be approximately 148.3 million compared to, we'll call this last year's March 31st, 2020, 941 million. So pretty big here. It's about $800 million difference that they've lost between last year Q1 and this year Q1. Although we know the pandemic has something to do with it, for sure. But I mean, majority is pandemic, right? But that's still, think of the numbers, right? Think of the dates and the time frames of Q1 and Q1 now, right? So, or at least these months ending, first 3 months ending March 31st. So the company expects net loss for the 3 months ended March 31st, 2021 to be between 572 million and 567 million compared to 2,176,000 for the 3 months. So about a $570 million loss between last year and this year. The company expects adjusted EBITDA between 301 million and 294 million for the 3 months ending, compared to 3.1 million ending for last year. So, table reconciling expected net loss to adjusted EBITDA is included below. And this kind of gives you that breakdown. If you guys want to dig into this, you can find this here. Maybe I'll put this link to this page in the description. Maybe if you want to see it, I'll just go ahead and tag it here. We'll pull it up after this. Let me see. I'll just pull it right now on Studio. Let me edit this. This is an 8K, right? Filing. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the link to this in the description below, or wherever it's at, below, above. Don't really care. That's kind of what I'm trying to point out here, is that this does not look good for the company. This is not the financials of a thriving and sustainable company for the long term. So they have to sell those 43 million shares. So what I'm saying is that on March 6th, this could be very, very bad news for the company. And we kind of all expect that they're going to have bad results financially. We kind of know where they stand. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, but it will negatively impact the stock price, at least for a day, maybe 2 days, right? We know that that is the case. But we knew going into it, right? This shouldn't be a surprise, but we'll potentially see a bit of a pullback if these numbers are not what everybody expects them to be, right? But on the flip side, if the numbers come out, again, because this isn't an audited report and do not represent a comprehensive statement of our financial results, right? So this is just an expectation, and if they do happen to beat this by some chance, very, very small chance, right? Because I don't know, this filing was just from a couple of days ago. This is on April 27th, so shit, this yesterday. I don't even know what today is, to tell you the truth, guys. 2 days ago, right? Let's say that they took this from projected all the way back, like, you know, early on when they did this, right? Or I don't know how long ago this was. Maybe they maybe they beat this, right? For some small chance, maybe they beat this. Then we see that is good news for the stock, and we start seeing that swing. We start seeing the bounce on the 6th, or right here around the 6th, and we start seeing that breakout. If not, I think we potentially start seeing some negative news because of this this call. And we potentially drive down a little bit, get a bounce off the trend line, and then start to drive up that way. But potentially, we kind of know where they stand. We know that they're in a shit position when it comes to their financials, and we know that they're not doing so great. And we know they need the 43 million to sell to make money to kind of get out of debt, and it's a ton of debt. If they sold all those positions today, we came up with, it was like what, $451,500,000, right? If they sold all 43 million shares at a dollar cost average of $10.50, and we know that they have to provide a 2.5% fee to their brokers for selling those, they still will not cover the debt that they have, that they've had. So the company expects net loss for the 3 months in between 572 and 567 million. So that doesn't necessarily mean debt. That just means loss. It could mean debt. Yeah, it could mean debt. So we know that they have a ton of debt here, and we're kind of expecting that. However, if they sold all those positions today, they still would not be at a debt. That's kind of the point that I'm trying to get at, is even if they sold all 43 million today, they would not be out of debt. They would still be in debt. But they'd be in a much better position than what they were in. Matter of fact, they'd probably be in a much better position than they were in last year at this time. If you were to look at the 3-year, they were not looking very good. I mean, here's 2018, here's 19 right here, here's year 19. They're actually trending down. This is long before the pandemic. Their share price dropped. I'll even give them just to open here. I mean, it's about 46%. That's not very good. Wait, what? No, that's not. Jeez, is that saying it's about 80%? Okay, yeah, it's about 54% there, so I don't know what this thing's doing. Anyhow, God, I went on a little ramble there. Look at that. All right, so we did come down to this low of 1031. As I was saying, I think we continue to drop down. So, guys, I know I'm kind of telling you some negative stuff here regarding AMC, but I'm still riding on the AMC train. I'm not selling. Definitely not selling for a loss. Definitely not selling for anything less than what I think this stock is value or worth. And not selling without it reaching its potential here. And we're not there. We're a long way from it. What I'm trying to get at is that don't be afraid when this thing drops down a little bit farther, and don't be afraid if this thing kind of drops down even farther tomorrow or on May 6th, right? But I think potentially we could see some good news. Let's go back. This is one thing I was thinking, right? So I'm thinking a lot of stuff and I'm saying a lot of stuff. I want to go back to the last call we had here. You can see the last call that we had here, earnings conference call on March 10th, right? Let's just take a look on this day what had happened here. You see, after the call here, this is on a 4-hour time frame, we didn't really do too well. So I kind of expect something very similar. However, we were actually down a lot before the call. And then we kind of got up, and then after the call we kind of bounced back down. But then we were very positive shortly thereafter. The call only took a negative effect for about a day and a half. So these earnings that we're looking at here, and let's go all the way back over to where we currently sit. We're talking about May 6th and these earnings. Potential is there that this thing does kind of drop, and it may even drop below our trend line here. We may see this thing drop below and not get the bounce that we want. It could potentially drop back down to this 1030 range after the call, kind of consolidate there, and then we can start seeing maybe a trend upwards here. We don't know what the future is going to bring, what the future holds, but we potentially think that this is going to be a negative call for AMC. So as much as I was saying that, I think that, after this day, we start seeing this thing, the convergence here, and it's a strong possibility that it could go up, but it's also an equally, if not as strong a possibility that the earnings call negatively impacts AMC because of how much they're in debt. And when people actually hear it on a phone call, we saw it the last time, even though we all knew that where they stood, we knew their results for Q4 were going to be poor. The stock price still dropped for at least a day and a half. So potentially, I think that's where it continues to kind of drop back down there. So is what it is. Don't be scared when this thing drops back down. To any of you guys who are in this position, sure that you're still diamond handing this thing. No matter what happens, you're going to keep holding it. So we've held it up to a nice little run of, up 60%, all the way down to about negative 5%. Then back up, we averaged down, we averaged up, whatever. We averaged sideways and added to the position size here. And just about got back to the dollar amount, but we're only up about almost 30%. So we kind of doubled our position here, doubled down when we dropped back down before. But I'm not worried about this thing dropping down any farther. We've got a good, nice level of support here at the 1030. And when I say I'm not worried, it's not that I don't think it's possible, because I definitely think that this thing could continue down, especially after the call here. Um, but I don't think that this call is going to have a long-lasting negative impact on the stock. I think it's only going to be about a day, 2 days max, and then we're going to see it start to kind of come back, because you have a lot of emotions trading. A lot of people trade with emotions and not intelligence, or they use that kind of in sync with each other, right? Intelligence and emotions, but they maybe let the emotions get better of them. Either way, they sell off due to emotions, and we know already that this thing is going to have bad financial results. We know. I think that that is a huge reason why you're seeing the price action we've actually seen here. I think this is why you see the negative price action, right? So when you're asking yourselves, well, shit, they came out and said they're not going to introduce the 550 million share dilution. Why is the price negatively impacted? The price is negatively impacted because if you read the document and you see how shit their financials are, it's very bad for AMC. And I guess seeing those, even though we know, right, we know that they're in debt, we know that they're not doing good, and we know that they're not going to have recovery play so soon. The recovery is going to take until after probably Q2 or Q3, hell, maybe even to Q4 before they get back to where they probably will be on a full recovery play here. I'm truly thinking that after Q2, Q3 is when we start seeing the full recovery start to step in. But well, we already know that we know that in the back of our minds that the recovery hasn't happened this early. We know the financials are going to be crap, but yet people trade on their emotions, and they let that, when they see it on paper and they see like, oh man, this is a lot of money. Like their net loss is huge. It's massive. It's like I don't know where. I think I already probably closed it out. Let's just call over $400 million loss compared to last year. So it's quite a bit of money, right? That's almost all of the that's basically the cost of those 43 million shares that they will introduce right now is that's it right there. I mean, that kind of puts them back to where they were, and they were already on a train downwards, you know. So there are some positives, right? I don't want to be completely negative here. This is like the most negative video I've done on AMC, but I'm also trying to be realistic. I do hold this position, and it's the largest position in my portfolio, and I'm very bullish on it. And I do think that they have a very good opportunity here to turn their company around, and we'll see if they capitalize on the opportunity. So far, you know, what Adam Aaron is doing is okay. We'll see. We'll see. They need to make some changes, but you guys can see. I mean, this is 2019 here, but well before the pandemic, they were already trading downward. So, you know, they closed out down, you know, almost 50% from 18 to 19. So they were already down. We can't put it all on the pandemic, but I do think that they get back up, and potentially, you know, we see them trade in this range here. I think they're worth that, but they've got to clear off some debt. They got to change their business model around. They got to fix something in their company. Squeeze is still viable. Anyhow, enough rant, enough rambling. I want to appreciate everyone for the comments. I want to give a shout out to Craig, Amel, Big Money, Godpill, Andrew Sonori. Appreciate everybody for the comment, everybody for the view. Thank you guys for watching the stream. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow for another live stream. Unless something crazy happens this afternoon, which I don't anticipate it happening. It almost never does here. We've been saying this for quite some time. As you guys can see, we were oversold on the RSI. Can you not see that? Let me hear real quick. I don't care about TV Trader. I think, let me see OBS here. All right, so as you guys can see down here, we did reach oversold here according to the RSI. Now we're kind of consolidating at the bottom. So this is good news. We could see signs of reversal here. But again, I set this trend line here at 1030. I kind of think that's the range we get that bounce at. And I just kind of want to close off at that. I want to thank everybody for watching. Appreciate the likes. Whatever you do. I don't know. Likes, comments. Don't care that much about the likes right now. Appreciate the comments though. Comments kind of keep me engaged with the audience, and we'll see. I know it's kind of not gonna say a down video. It's more of a realistic video and just kind of a reality check over the next week. What to expect? That we are predicting the stock to actually fall down a little bit farther, or we did, and we're kind of at that point now to where I think we still have potential to fall a little bit more, but I think we're almost there, right? I think we're almost to the bottom. We could be about 30 cents off. Could be that $10 range, but I think we're just about there at the bottom of where we're going to go for this to start seeing signs of reversal here. And we're going to consolidate, but I do not expect this thing to just skyrocket up tomorrow. That's not my expectations. And as a matter of fact, on May 6th, we think something's going to happen, whether it be positive or negative. The more I look into it, the more I think it's going to be negative. But who knows? We'll see. Again, appreciate you guys. See you guys tomorrow morning. Be bright and early for me. Since I'm not working, it is kind of early. But thanks everybody for watching the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed. Send me a shout out if you want me to check in anything. Thanks. Have a good afternoon.
Mic off. Mic on.
And almost forgot. Peace out.
Mic off.